Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we're going to fire up our classic and we're going to do a rib sandwich. So let's get started. We're going to kick this project off by firing up the Kamado Joe Classic. I've got a fire going in the center of the firebox and I've got a few pieces of apple and cherry wood spread out here to give us a little bit of smoke. So I'm going to put the heat deflectors in the low position on both sides, and then I'm going to put the grill grates in the upper position on both sides for indirect cooking. And today we're going to use the I command, and I'm going to run this grill at a temperature of 250 degrees Fahrenheit for this cook. While that grill is coming up to temperature, we're going to prep this rack of baby back ribs. I've already washed it and patted it dry, so I'm going to remove the silver skin from the back side of these ribs to get started. And then I'm going to smear on a thin coat of mayonnaise as a binder to hold our rub in place. And after that, I'm going to give these ribs a nice healthy coat of the Lane's Barbecue Kunami rub. And then we're just going to let these guys sit here until the grill's ready to go. And now that our grill's up to temperature, we're going to lay this rack of ribs right in the center of the grill, and we're going to let these cook here at 250 degrees for exactly 2 hours before we come back for the next stage of this cook. And now that we've been going for 2 hours, I'm going to pull these ribs off, and we are going to double wrap these in a tight wrapping of aluminum foil. And once we have those wrapped up nice and tightly, we're going to put those back on the grill for another 2 hours. While those ribs are finishing up, we're going to make a bacon jam to go on this sandwich. So I've preheated my pan here, and we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. And once that butter's melted, I'm going to add 8 slices of bacon that I've chopped up, and we're going to cook those until they're almost done. And then we're going to add a chopped white onion, and we're going to cook that in until it starts to turn nice and translucent. Then we'll add 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar and stir that in really well. And then I want to add just a dash of sriracha and a half a cup of maple syrup, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm going to toss in a splash of whiskey here for a good measure. And then we're going to simmer this on low for about 20 minutes or so until this thickens up. And then we'll set it aside until we're ready to use it on the sandwich. Now that our ribs are just about done, we're going to unwrap those from the foil, and we're going to baste these with some sauce. And the sauce that I'm going to use today is the Lane's Barbecue Kinda Sweet sauce, which I think is going to go really well with that Kunami rub. And once we have both sides of these ribs sauced, I'm going to toss these back on the grill for about 15 minutes or so. Now that that sauce has had a chance to set up on those ribs a little bit, we're going to pull these off the grill, and we're going to pull these bones out. This rack of ribs should be nice and loose. We're going to pull those bones right out, and then we're going to set that rib meat on a piece of toasted Italian bread. I've taken a loaf of Italian bread, sliced it in half, and toasted it up on both sides, and we're going to set this rib rack right on there. And then I'm just going to garnish it with a little bit of chopped parsley, and we're going to put the top half of the loaf on there, and then we're going to slice this guy up into sandwich size slices. So next time you want to impress somebody with some ribs that you've turned into a really awesome sandwich, give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kamado Joe. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram @Kamado Joe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.